A sunsplash start to the weekend here in Philadelphia on the campus of St. Joseph's University inside Hagan Arena. One of the biggest stars of tennis will be shining bright. Venus Williams hoping to lead the Washington Kastles to victory against the Philadelphia Freedoms in World Team Tennis. City Line Avenue here in Philadelphia, and the stretch drive is on in World Team Tennis. Tonight, the Washington Kastles looking to get a victory here at the expense of the Philadelphia Freedoms. Hi there, Jason Knapp here alongside former ATP Pro and Grand Slam doubles semifinalist Sam Groth. Our friends Olivia Decker and Sean T will be joining us courtside throughout the night. Sam, World Team Tennis, this 3-week sprint season. The playoffs are a week away, starting next Friday night in Las Vegas. And it looks like for the second straight season, the Freedoms are going to dash their way there.
Well, they certainly are. And Jason, it's great to be back alongside you here on CBS Sports Network. But the Freedoms, they've been so dominant this season, 8-2. One of those losses to the top of the table Lasers. The other one, a super tie-break loss to the Orange County Breakers after they pulled that one back from the death. But for the Kastles, they need to win. They need to run the table for the rest of the season if we're any chance of seeing them in Vegas on August 2nd.
Certainly the pedigree is there for a franchise that's won the World Team Tennis King Trophy 6 times. And Venus Williams, so many sparkling moments in her career. Some of them have come in World Team Tennis.
Well, she's a superstar of the game. 7 Grand Slam singles titles, 14th season in the league. A few years ago, she pulled them back from the absolute death to get a huge win for the Kastles. Tried to do that last night, was unable to. They're going to need her firing tonight, though, if they're to turn their season around.
Now, the finals most valuable player back in 2012, one of those championship seasons for the Washington Kastles. A look at our Wilson lineup tonight. Again, 5 sets of tennis here, the format in World Team Tennis. We'll start it off men's doubles, then men's singles, mixed doubles, and of course, Venus Williams, Taylor Townsend was a thriller in their head-to-head matchup last night in D.C.
It certainly was. 5-4 the way of Venus Williams to put that into extended play. A change from the team last night, though, for the Freedoms. Chris Eubanks comes in place of Adrian Manarino. Very similar to lineup as what we saw last night, only the women's singles and women's doubles switched around. I think that women's doubles set is a team and a set that Craig Carden's really able to rely on.
We'll see if the Philadelphia Freedoms head coach is as enthused as he was last night when his team won on the road in Washington. The return matchup tonight in Philly. We'll get it rolling in a moment.
World Team Tennis on CBS Sports Network is sponsored by Wilson. Get the best gear in the game. By DecoTurf, official tennis court surface of World Team Tennis. And by Body Armor, the more natural and better hydration sports drink.
Here at a place they call Hawk Hill, St. Joseph's University in Philadelphia. Two teams looking to soar their way to victory tonight. We got the Kastles and the Freedoms ready to meet for the second time in 24 hours. Last night, Philly got the road win 24-17. Total games decide things here in World Team Tennis, and Philly got out to a quick start last night.
They certainly did, all set up by men's doubles. We're going to see that again first this evening. Of course, that change for the Freedoms, Adrian Manarino out, Chris Eubanks in, and the Freedoms, they just lacked a little bit of, the Castles, my bad, lacked a little bit of firepower in men's doubles last night. They've got to find a way to turn that around and get their team off to a better start.
And again, things happen quickly. 5 games wins a set. We're even at 4. You go to the quick tiebreaker, no ad scoring. So once we get to 40 all, next point wins. And Venus Williams looking on with Coach Murphy Jensen. Again, 14th season of World Team Tennis for Venus. Depending upon her schedule, she comes in, supports her team, loves being part of the team atmosphere. They love having her here. So underway here, World Team Tennis. This matchup, Yoshihito Nishioka and Bruno Suarez of Washington against Fabrice Martin and Chris Eubanks, the newcomer here for Philadelphia. Again, head-to-head last night, Washington got trounced by Martin, and last night it was Adrian Manarino taking it to Suarez and Nishioka 5-1.
It was 5 games on the trot last night as well after the Castles held their opening service game.
So love 30 start here.
And I think the Castles tonight, they can target Eubanks a little bit. Coming in, first match of the season, very different, as we've said, throughout this whole season. It's very strange when you come in for the first night, Craig Carden, Freedom's head coach, but it takes a little bit of adjusting. So if they can target him early in this one, we've seen him miss 2 volleys there early to put them in a little bit of a hole here.
Better response there from Eubanks. Fabrice Martin, his partner, serving. When you're a guy coming in and getting your first taste of this, Murphy Jensen's been around it for a long time. 11th season as head coach of the Castles. Over 2 decades in the league as a player and a coach. But Eubanks coming in and player out of Georgia Tech. Working his way up the ranks in the tour. And alongside Fabrice Martin here in this opening set. We've seen some coaches with newcomers maybe sit them at first and try to watch to understand, but Craig Carton getting his newcomer in there right away.
Well, that's going to put the pressure on a double fault early and no time. It's been such a dominant pairing, the men's doubles team. Fabrice Martin, such a good player in this format. You've got to try and get off to a hot start, and I think it's on the back of what they did last night that they're out on court now.
And Fabrice Martin, 32 years of age, from France, lives in Florida, 4th straight season with the Freedoms, past male rookie of the year in this league. So you've got a couple of bangers on the far side. 6'6" Martin, 6'7" Eubanks against Suarez and Nishioka, who are going to move around and get everything on the court.
Yeah, very contrasting styles, that's for sure. 2, as you said, absolute bombers, huge serves. Bit dangerous here inside Hagen Arena for some of those fans right behind the court. They're the low barriers. I think some of them want that, though. That's why they go for those seats.
30-40. Still Martin with work to do, this time on the second serve. We talked about the hands and the work for Washington displayed there by that duo, and they get the early break.
A great exchange at the net for them to pull back the first break, or get the first break of the night, and really targeting Eubanks early in the point. But terrific hands from Nishioka. He just kept moving forward. It's one of the keys when you get in these exchanges. A little help with the net cord, but a break for Washington, and that's the perfect start.
So Bruno Suarez, 37 years of age, second season with the Kastles. Played a couple of years ago, 31 career ATP doubles titles, including a pair this season.
Great hands from Eubanks at the net. His first ever World Team Tennis match here inside Hagen Arena for the Kastles alongside myself.
He reminded you of that
He
today.
did.
He said, we've played here before. And of course, he's played so wonderfully, 5 Grand Slam doubles titles in his career, including that run with Jamie Murray, 2016 Australian, 2016 US Open, but that partnership ended after the French this year. Eubanks did not miss by much, opening up on that forehand.
As a big guy, you've got to take cuts at those. If you get those opportunities for a ball to hit, you hit it. That's not a bad miss from Eubanks. It sets the tone early to what he's going to do on return to serve tonight.
Bruno able to advance it to 30-15.
I think also the difference here for the Kastles tonight in this men's side, a team that doesn't have a lot of firepower, coming indoors, a little bit easier to create pace, get a little bit more help off the court indoors than you do outdoors.
Wonderfully played. Nishioka able to just steer that to open space.
What helps when your partner makes a couple of good first serves, ends up an easy put away. Nishioka didn't overreact, just dealt with it the way he needed to.
Suarez and Nishioka each broken once last night as Philly flattened them 5-1. Eubanks able to come up the middle. Washington can't respond. Still a game point to work with here for the Castles. Philly would love to win back-to-back points here and get the break right back. Man serving right now, number 7 in the world in doubles. Been high as number 2. And Nishioka able to get the clinching point. Washington following up the early break. 2-0 start. Well, we've got a couple of sideline reporters to work with you, including fitness guru Sean T. Let's check in with him.
Hey guys, I'm gonna tell you right now, I was talking to Bruno Suarez before the match, and he's already ready to train in the offseason. So I know he came out here. You can tell he is really working. He's pushing hard. And I'm gonna tell you right now, those feet are moving. So if you're at home and you're watching this, make sure you move the feet all the time.
Yoshi able to get that to go. If you're 37, and we see players, Sam, extending their careers now, you got to find ways to keep moving and stay in shape, and Bruno certainly has.
Well, I can attest to it. Your body starts to break down the older you get on the tour. And obviously winning matches, the first thing you got to do is keep yourself on the court. And Bruno's done a great job of that for a long time. Especially during this World Team Tennis season. It's a lot of matches in a lot of different cities in a short space of time. You've really got to keep yourself fit, and quite often it's the team that's able to keep everybody on the court as well. We've seen the Kastles actually struggle with that this season, keeping players out there. That's the team that's going to do well in that weekend in August.
He's the elder statesman of this foursome. The young gun is this guy, Chris Eubanks, 6'7". You see the booming serve. ACC Player of the Year in the college ranks, 2016 and 2017. And he can bring the heat. Signed as an injury fill-in for the Freedoms this week. Just upset Stevie Johnson, first round of Newport, Rhode Island last week on the grass before falling in round 2. That's certainly a nice win for a guy continuing to build his resume.
Well, Steve Johnson was the defending champ there in Newport.
Suarez able to put it away on that little flip by Eubanks.
Well, this is the thing, though. If you've got a big serve, that's one thing. You've got to be able to back it up, though. So a couple of big first serves in this game, but a couple of big returns from the Kastles, and all of a sudden, they're staring down a double break.
Great work from Martin at the net to get us to a deciding point.
Well, that's sharp from Martin, because on a big point in the second serve, I wouldn't serve the Suarez backhand. That's his strongest return. Martin covered the line, but was able to keep his balance and do enough to get that volley through the middle part of the court.
And big play from Eubanks and Martin to survive and get the hole.
Well, it was a survival game there. It was a great return from Nishioka. I thought Suarez was really going to rip that for him when he got the opportunity. Tried to roll the angle. This one here, Eubanks solid as a rock. Nishioka got himself in all sorts of tangle at the net. That was a big service game for the Freedoms.
And again, total games matter. Last night again, in this format, in men's doubles, Philly won 5-1, and they really never looked back en route to the win. So Philly able to stay within a game here overall. Let serves are in play here in World Team Tennis. You saw Martin trying to scramble. That is out. And the opening point here to Suarez and Nishioka. Yoshi, 23 years old. Won his first ATP title last year at the Shenzhen Open. Got into the top 60 in the world at that point. Currently number 73 in the world. Strong run at Indian Wells this year. Beat some good players, including Roberto Batista Agut. Made the semifinals, of course. He did at Wimbledon.
We saw Eubanks make the early jump around there to try to get the forehand off the Nishioka serve, and Suarez unable to control the volley. If I'm Nishioka and I know my serve's not the biggest, and I've got two guys who like to take cuts at the other end, I'm trying to serve body sliders, use my left-handed serve, jam them up early, maybe just make a few more first serves if I can, so they can't take those big swings. Because he gets away with one there. You can see Martin, the disappointment, throws the racket. That was right in the zone for Fabrice Martin to have a big hit at that forehand.
We've got two guys together that have so much power in Martin and Eubanks. If you're this Washington duo, how do you negate that power?
You're just trying to take those big swings away. That's where I think using the body serve is so crucial. But in saying that, the two guys have just made two pretty average forehand errors on return there. You're down a break of serve. It's one thing to take big cuts at the ball, but the first priority's got to be to get the ball into the court also.
Nishioka looking to get a smooth hold here against Philly. And stretch it to 3-1. And Washington will. Smooth beginning for the Kastles here on the road in Philly. 3-1 Washington so far.
Anchors race. Our anchors will be away. The race will start. Welcome back to Philadelphia. Olivia Decker here with Craig Carden, coach of the Freedoms, and you had something really exciting happen to someone you care a lot about last week, Mary Pierce getting inducted into the International Tennis Hall of Fame. I know you spoke with her. What did you say to her?
I was just really proud of Mary Pierce for being inducted to the Hall of Fame. I think it's a one-in-a-lifetime experience, and I wished her the best of luck and love to her family. And I'm so sorry I couldn't be there, Mary, but thanks so much.
You were with us getting the big win in Vegas. Now, what are your memories of your time coaching Mary?
Oh, I mean, the title she won in Paris and just a couple other the title she won in Rome. And we had 2 different times when we were guys coaching her. So anyway, we got to go.
Yeah, we do. Good luck, Coach. Thank you.
Olivia, thanks. Craig Carden's coached so many great players throughout his career. That was special to see Mary Pierce go into the Hall of Fame, and done wonderful work here in his time in World Team Tennis, especially with the Freedoms. This group making it to the finals last year, coming up just a bit short at home against Springfield. Oh, Yoshi able to steer that one in.
He's done such a good job with his team this season. Obviously, Billie Jean King, a co-founder of the league. Terrific form return. Yoshi catches it around the frame a little bit, but it's going to be a winner. But also the owner of this team, so a lot of pressure comes from her for him to get results with this team. He loves it. He enjoys this environment. And then, of course, tonight, talk about Hall of Famers. Billie Jean King is in the house. And then, of course, on the other side of the net, Venus Williams, she's going to be a future Hall of Fame at 100% as well.
Absolutely. That last point's tough to lob a team that's 6'6" and 6'7", and Eubanks able to stretch out and put it away. 15 all. And Eubanks just couldn't put that one in.
A little bit too much arms going everywhere there from Eubanks. You mentioned tough to lob in here. The scoreboard doesn't sit that high above the net, so you have to hit an extremely good lob, especially to get it over 2 guys that are the height of the Freedoms players.
Fabrice Martin able to handcuff Suarez, get it to 30 all. What a year for Fabrice Martin. Best year on tour, 2 ATP doubles crowns with fellow Frenchman Jeremy Chardy, 1 in Marseille, the other in Portugal. Then 2 Frenchmen making the final at the French Open. What a run. Some great emotion there from Fabrice in the semis. Big somersault after their victory. You're happy to roll around in the clay if you're a Frenchman and you're able to get to the final of your home slam.
Well, it's an amazing run the 2 of those guys had. Jeremy Chardy and Fabrice, great friends as well. So to do it in your home city, in your home country, in front of the home fans, with one of your best friends, I mean, what a feeling that would have been for those 2 guys.
Yeah, they say they just know each other so well with a new partner here in Eubanks in World Team Tennis. Able to put the game away. 3-2 as Philly gets its 2nd consecutive hold of serve after being broken early.
Well, you see Craig Carden taking a Geico timeout here, and I think the message is going to be right now on return of serve. Keep going for your spots and hitting big, but just pull those targets in slightly. We saw a couple of wild ones in that last return game when they had some opportunities to take cuts at the ball. Right now, it's going to be pick your spot. Pick a spot over the net, make them play a volley. 2, 3, 4 volleys, because they're down a break. They need to put balls in the court right now, this big swinging team.
Craig Carden out there on that Geico timeout. See if his duo can implement their strategy here against the serve of Suarez.
It's a good serve from Bruno, skipping through the court, staying low. Tough to get a good hit on that return.
Again, he and Jamie Murray, 2 majors, 19 ATP doubles titles in 3.5 years. And then the decision to break it off wasn't Bruno's decision, it was Jamie's. But he said, I respect his decision. I don't take it personally. It's our job if you're not happy. You got to do something else, and those partnerships can come and go in doubles. You know that.
It's just part and parcel with the doubles tour. One day, you know it's going to happen. A lot of teams stay together for a long time. Teams like the Bryans sometimes don't have a lot of choice but to play together. Obviously, they've been so successful, but you know, sometimes you just get that feeling that a refresher is needed.
That's just pumped deep. Washington handing Philadelphia a point to stay within range in this game. Bruno now will pair with Ante Pavic. Murray playing with Neil Skepsky, who plays World Team Tennis with the New York Empire.
That first volley from Suarez, that's just experience. Took all the pace off the backhand volley, dropped it about 3 inches inside the baseline. So hard to generate pace from the back of the court there.
(40-15). Much better serving from the Kastles men's doubles duo tonight. We were broken a pair of times last night, but 4 straight holds, or excuse me, 3 straight holds here, and that break to make it 4-2.
I think playing this team today with 2 big hitters matches up better for them. Last night, the combination of Fabrice Martin and Adrian Mannarino, one guy who likes to swing freely, but Mannarino was going to make a lot of returns, so took the pressure off Martin a little bit. Tonight, Martin, the senior doubles player in this team with Eubanks, a lot more pressure goes onto his return of serve.
So another look at Eubanks and his big service game. I mentioned that big win against Steve Johnson last year in Newport. He made it through qualifying, did Eubanks, at the Australian Open. One of his victims there was Felix Auger-Aliassime, that Canadian teen who's just run up the rankings this year. So another quality win on his resume. Martin just got tied up and hooked it wide. Just for a guy on tour like Eubanks, Sam, just match experience, grinded in challengers, just trying to continue to just get more quality match time, and World Team Tennis can add to that.
Certainly can. Being put in high pressure environments in a hurry, you have to get off to fast starts. And even just taking a look, I haven't seen Chris play for a little while, obviously not playing predominantly on the main tour. As you say, grinding away at challenges. He's obviously got a big serve, but just needs to find a little bit better direction with that, and then what he follows it up with is going to be the next big thing for him.
But that calling card can bail him out. 131-mile-per-hour ace on the tee.
And that was a big serve, but it was big placement too. Right in the corner, that one. Nishioka unable to get anywhere near it. He's a great return, Nishioka, but if you can hit 130 miles an hour and hit your spots, it doesn't come back.
It's a game point here. Eubanks, Martin, and Philly. Fabrice able to finish at the net. And Philly gets the hold. 4-3 Washington. Kastles now with a chance to finish the set. Craig Carden hoping his team can pull the break and send us to a set tiebreak.
So Craig Carden just saying on second serve, move forward, short swings, come forward. Nishioka doesn't have the biggest serve. He's going to swing it with the lefty. Bruno's going to try and help him at the net. But they're going to get opportunities on return here.
Heady play from Suarez. Saw Eubanks was there, put it right over him for a key opening point.
I just think that's also a little bit of experience from Eubanks, and not to try to pick on him, but he's probably the least experienced player on this court right now, and probably overcommitted a little bit with his move twice in that point, just really not helping his partner out as much as he should have. And again, his partner finally makes the move forward and he decides to hit it straight at Suarez. He had the open corridor down the line to maintain that baseline rally with Nishioka. Wasn't able to do so.
Kastles 2 points away from notching the set victory. smarts there from Martin to able to take off the pace and force Suarez's hand.
Well, it was the perfect little chip, this one here, because Bruno couldn't go forward to it, got stuck going backwards, then the rip forehand as Bruno was retreating from the net. So perfect awareness, not just of what you're doing, but where your opponent's moving as well.
It's Philly on the board of the game, 30-15 Castles. Again, let serves are played, and that counts.
Well, I think that was going to be an ace anyway. I think Eubanks was covering the wide serve. Good change up from Nishioka. Generally, you'll sit on the wide serve, a left-hander on a big point, comes up with the ace down the tee.
Set point.
Well, that was big. That was the perfect forehand from Fabrice Martin. Loaded this one up, aimed straight at the net tape and straight at Bruno Suarez. I don't know how that got through everybody. That was dangerous.
A smile there from Fabrice. Another set point for the Castles. Wow. Suddenly things have turned. Philly has gotten this to a deciding point. If they win it, we go to a set tiebreak. Castles take it. Washington wins the set.
A couple of big-time balls from the Freedoms.
Nishioka able to work some magic and induce the miss. And Philadelphia watches Washington take set one here in Philly. 5-3, the Castles with the early advantage against the Freedoms. Back here in Philadelphia, Washington, which lost at home to the Freedoms a night ago, leading early after men's doubles, 5-3 the score. Venus Williams on standby, talking with some of the fans here In Philly, she'll be coming up a bit later on in women's doubles and women's singles. Fans checking out the action here at Hagan Arena. Jason Knapp, Sam Groth, Olivia Decker, Sean T. On the sidelines is Carlos Silva. CEO of World Team Tennis is joining us. Another exciting night after night after night here in this 3-week season. It's got to be a blast to check this out every single night.
It really is, and we've been moving from city to city, and it's great to be in Philadelphia tonight. It's been a great road so far. We've got some great matchups, coming up. And we had some, great action earlier in the first 2 weeks of the season.
Certainly have. It's season 44 for those not in the know of World Team Tennis. Expansion from 6 to 8 teams this year, with Orlando and Vegas both stepping in. Both have had some great moments so far. And where do you see things going as we head to the playoffs in Vegas next week?
Well, top 4 make the playoffs. As you mentioned, we did expand by a couple of teams, but both of those teams are looking like expansion teams, which is interesting, just being a sports guy for all of us, that happens. You don't just jump into a league and just make it into the playoffs. You see that with Philly. They've really put a roster together. They're playing great doubles and getting the wins that they've got to win. And, even though some, earlier we saw we had a big trade there with Feliciano Lopez, but he got a couple of wins, but still, we'll see. And now now we're going to go to men's singles here.
Eubanks with a big forehand miss. We saw the upcoming schedule here on CBS Sports Network. 5 nights in a row in some stretches. So we'll be in D.C. tomorrow night, back in Philly on Sunday evening, and New York City on Monday night. Nishioka, as he's wont to do, getting into some rallies here and taking the first 2 points against Eubanks, but all pointed to that championship weekend with the semifinals coming a week from tonight, the finals. Both of those in Las Vegas, and a buzz there with the opening sessions there for the Vegas Rollers. And good response for both of your expansion teams.
Absolutely, and exciting that those playoffs are all going to be on CBS Sports Network live. Both of them, the semifinals. 1 versus 4 and 3 versus 2.
A good hold from Nishioka. And you mentioned expansion, 2 new teams this year. What's coming up? What can we expect for World Team Tennis? 44 years, obviously very hard to change and innovate, and we've seen all those changes this year, the new courts, the balls, 2 new teams, but what's coming?
Well, you hit on them, Sam. It's true. I think the players seem to be responding well to the new court color. They're feeling like they're going to get ready into their summer season now. I love what we've done with it. All the teams, all 8 of them, have put together great rosters, and I think the competition this year, everyone keeps telling me it's as high as they've ever seen. And I think that's a key to what we wanted to do. And then certainly what we've done with CBS Sports and CBS Sports Network, the coverage is better. I'm hearing more about it. People are coming up to me and saying it's so great to be on a network like CBS.
I had the chance to speak to Taylor Townsend in the player lounge before coming up here, and you talk about CBS and CBS Sports Network being involved, that awareness of the league. It's the awareness for the players, I think, as well. She said to me, playing with Feliciano Lopez this year, playing with Adrian Manarino, players that she wouldn't normally associate with on the tour week in, week out, all buying in to the format, into the league, and it's just creating that awareness, not just only amongst the fans, but amongst the players, to get more players involved as well.
Yeah, no doubt about it. I mean, someone was saying, why do you think the level's high? It's like, look, if I'm on CBS Sports Network, I'm going to be prepared, I'm going to be ready, and I think that's what we're seeing from the players. And look, many of these players, they're not, as you know, Sam, from being out there, you don't always get on television. And so for all these players, the opportunity to play singles and doubles and mixed on CBS Sports Network and on big CBS, it's really exciting.
So the hold from Eubanks got the crowd invested. And Carlos, you've got that mix here in World Team Tennis where we see the big stars like Venus Williams coming into play. You see up-and-coming guys like a Chris Eubanks. We see a guy that's firmly entrenched in the top 70 in the world here like Nishioka.
Wow, and what an opportunity for Eubanks tonight to be playing a guy like Nishioka. I mean, he had a great, great French. He played Del Potro, deep there. I actually happened to be at that match. It was incredible. And now for Eubanks, who's really just coming out of school as an All-American, I mean, it's amazing that he gets that opportunity in front of this crowd.
Talk about superstars playing World Team Tennis. You walk into Hagen Arena here tonight, home of the Philadelphia Freedoms, and you look down the wall opposite the benches and all the players who've played for the Freedoms that have won Grand Slam titles. It really has been a breeding ground and a place for terrific tennis players to come and ply their trade.
Oh, Sam, Nishioka accepting that pace and then finding the opportunity to pounce.
Well, that's going to be where Eubanks needs to improve. 2 or 3 big hits against a guy like Nishioka is not always going to get the point done. You've got to find other ways. He's going to have to look to move forward. He's going to have to be prepared to hit 5 or 6 of those balls to win points. But full credit to Nishioka, he was more than up to the task.
2-1 Washington here in the set. 7-4 in favor of the Kastles overall, as Eubanks will look to square things here in the second of 5 sets tonight.
Carlos, I just want to ask you, you've been all around the league. We've been following each other pretty much everywhere for the last couple of weeks. Your favorite moment of the season so far?
It's a tough one. That's a tough one. You know, look, when we were on the CBS show on Sunday, you know, when Feliciano really, you know, finished it off there with some unbelievable stab volleys to take Sam Querrey and win that match. I think it was a great moment for the league and for, you know, for what we've done this year to really build that audience.
Bit like that volley there from Chris Eubanks. Lunging backhand drop volley to get himself to 15 love. That's that move forward, Jason, I mentioned. It's all well and good to just hit huge balls from the back of the court, but so much easier to finish if you can get forward and get this one on top of the net. Well, Carlos, I just want to say personally, though, for someone that's played 4 seasons in the league and now working on this side, it's great to see the way you guys are innovating and promoting the game of tennis, but also bringing World Team Tennis really onto the world stage again.
Oh, thanks so much. And I think, you know, you'll see that expansion. And, you know, we're going to look to Europe in the next couple of years. But look, a lot of it is also what we've done with all of you in the booth and the analysis and expert feeling that you all bring to the matches too, because that's a big part of it for the consumers. So it's great, you know, it's great to have the teams that we've put together for this year.
30-15 here in this game. Nishioka and Eubanks going toe-to-toe. And again, wonderful contrast of styles with the power of the American and the finesse and savvy of the Japanese player. Right now, straight power sometimes, Sam, as you know, can be the trump card. And Eubanks trying to get the hold here and even things at 2 apiece in the set. A little bit of a nervy double.
And you really went after that one and didn't quite find the center of the racket. Still got another chance though to close this out. You don't want to be playing too many of those deciding points.
A deciding point.
Well, if it was a nervy serve at 40-15, all of a sudden after having a chance to close out the game, now back to deciding point, there's certainly going to be some nerves from Chris Eubanks.
Each team has won a deciding point so far tonight. Awesome volley from Eubanks at the net to win the deciding point and keep us level at 2 games apiece. Our thanks to Carlos Silva stopping by, CEO of World Team Tennis. Carlos, always great to see you.
Yeah, thanks, guys. Look forward to seeing you again soon.
Absolutely.
Have a great show.
Washington still up in the match. Engaging night of tennis so far here. World Team Tennis, Washington and Philadelphia. Kastles taking men's doubles 5-3. But 2-2 here between Nishioka and Eubanks in men's singles. Eubanks with the easy overhead as we go downstairs to Shaun T.
Let me tell you something, the fitness level out here is so high. You know what you have to do in order to have great coverage on the court. I want people to know that you need to stretch and you need to do high intensity interval training, because that's the way you're going to keep the heart rate up and recover greatly.
Shaun T, thanks. Trying to get that balance, Sam, all the stops and starts in this sport.
That's a great approach from Eubanks, just getting that one chiseled in so low, creating a tough pass with his frame for Nishioka. But you're extremely right. It's that balance, maybe not so much here because it's more of a sprint format. First to five, you've got to be on for every point. But when you talk about going out onto the tour as well, it's that mix of being able to play quick, sharp points, but possibly for 3, 4, 5 hours when you get to best of 5.
I'm always fascinated, too, after a scramble of a long point, server being able to come and compose themselves and get that heart rate down to get into a rhythm for a good performance on the next serve.
Well, Nishioka, he had a grueling set of tennis last night against Adrian Manarino. Probably 10 to 12 points at the end of that match, up over 20 shots. And you just wonder whether that's taken anything out of him physically, traveling also to Philadelphia this morning.
Break points here for Eubanks. And Eubanks gets the break for Philadelphia. Craig Carden up to welcome his newcomer to the Freedoms and tell him more of that, please.
Well, you saw that game. So we take a look at where the World Team Tennis teams are all based over the United States.
In the 3 in the Mid-Atlantic, Orlando jumping in Florida this year as an expansion team. Springfield in the middle in Missouri. And the West Coast contingent, Orange County, San Diego, joined by the Vegas Rollers, the 8 teams this year. Chris Eubanks going to be a popular guy if he continues to play like this for those teams next year.
Change from Eubanks out of the change of ends. That last game got to the net 3 or 4 times, really putting the pressure on Nishioka behind those big ground strokes he's been hitting. And that's a great pass from Nishioka, but that's the right play. from Eubanks. You say, like he did on the break point, if you can come up with an amazing passing shot, like Nishioka did there, then too good. But to do that at first point of the game is a lot less pressure than when he had to do it at 15:40 the game before. And to be honest, we're playing indoor tennis here. Indoor tennis is so much about getting the first hit in the rally and getting yourself on top of the point and taking charge. And that's what he's doing now, Eubanks.
15-all here against Nishioka, trying to consolidate and tie us up overall.
I mean, if you're going to come forward, you've got to have good hands, and he's showing he can do it.
Brent's a terrific player in the college game at Georgia Tech. A couple of ACC Player of the Year honors.
This crowd's buying into him pretty quickly here as well.
Easy stuff for Eubanks here. Worked it to a game point. Philly had great success with a guy from Georgia Tech last year. Kevin King was their men's singles player, and had a terrific run helping the Freedoms get to the final.
Well, this is an impressive couple of games he's put together, from 2-1 down to 4-2 up. And he's on an absolute charge right now here in men's singles.
So Eubanks makes it 4-2 Philadelphia over Washington. 7-all in the overall score on the night. So big stuff for Eubanks. Oh, we're talking about Kevin King. How about a shout out for him? Got his first ever ATP main draw win this week at home in Atlanta. Took down the former world #3 Gregor Dimitrov. What a thrill to do that at home.
Unbelievable to do it in your hometown. Well, Eubanks is confident right now. Everything he's hitting is spreading the court well, pushing Nishioka back. Nishioka wants to hold the baseline, but he's just not able to do it right now.
One of the things you can learn to love about World Team Tennis, you see the stars, you see the tour players, then you see the future. And a guy like Eubanks, even though that is wide, certainly is budding with potential.
Well, he certainly is, and his confidence has just gone through the roof right now. Imagine if he had brought this sort of energy to men's doubles. We talk about taking a little bit of time to find your footing in World Team Tennis and how you react to everything that's going on and how quick you need to play. Well, he settled him pretty quickly here. A couple of slice backhands, maybe let him down in the last 2 points. He's just got to, he's playing as well as he is right now. Keep going for it because he's playing terrific tennis in this set of men's singles.
And doing that against a guy that's in the top 75 in the world. Nishioka, second round at the U.S. Open last summer, round 2 of the Australian this year for the 3rd straight year. And Yoshi able to bend it in.
Well, Eubanks played the perfect point. Nishioka able to hit the inch perfect, centimeter perfect. Got to get my terms right over here in the United States as to my measurements of distance, but that was perfect whichever way you look at it.
Inch is correct. Fine adjustment by you. Another frame job there for Nishioka. Yeah, that one is out by feet. 40-30, still game point to work with here for the Kastles. Eubanks does it again.
Got away with one there. Didn't quite do enough with the first couple of volleys, but Nishioka gives him a second bite at the cherry. And this time, forehand volley perfectly executed. And we're going to get a Geico timeout. And you look from where we're sitting down at the benches, and the energy that's changed. That start in men's doubles from Washington to put them up, and they were up and about on the bench, and Murphy Jensen looked relaxed and a little bit of concern from Craig Carden. Now you look, Murphy, he looks stressed. Craig Carden smiling. It's amazing how quickly the energy and the feel of what's happening can turn. It turns on its head in World Team Tennis in the click of the fingers, and we've seen that right here in men's singles.
Deciding points so far the night. Philly has won 2 of the 3, and on the year, Philly has won 50% of theirs. Washington 40% on those deciding points. That's telling from one team near the top of the standings and one near the bottom. So Washington is able to get the key hold from Nishioka, retaking the lead overall, but Eubanks has a chance to end the set coming up.
But that was a big hold, though, from Nishioka, remembering Team Tennis cumulative scoring games across all sets. If he loses that game there, Nishioka, all of a sudden, Philadelphia takes the lead on the night. Now, the worst-case scenario, he goes out of this set even.
And that one's going to be off the scoreboard. You mentioned it low here in Philadelphia. They actually have it raised from where it normally would be for college basketball, but you can't try those really high lobs in this building.
If you're not used to it, it's a lot lower than we would ever play on tour with a roof. It does take some getting used to. I think when Nishioka first hit that lob, he thought, oh, that's a good defensive lob. See the scoreboard up there. What a half volley.
Eubanks missed it, and it's 15 all.
I mean, I give him the credit because look how well he controls the racket head, keeps it so still, and then gets the easy overhead and pushes it wide. I'd given him the point.
Made the hard one, missed the easy one.
Oh, it can turn so quickly as well. I wonder if that will have an effect here in this set. Credit to Eubanks to reset there. Nishioka had the open pass down the forehand line. Eubanks knew he couldn't cover the line, so he made sure he had one half of the court completely covered. Nishioka, forehand cross-court pass. Eubanks there to make the volley.
Even at 6'7", you can't cover everything. 30-15. The overpowering forehand from Eubanks, and then can't handle the spin.
We just wonder whether he's getting a little nervous. He's going to still be serving at 30 love, but those couple of games where we went on that run and was able to break Nishioka and really turn this set on its head, he was hitting 1 or 2 of those balls and moving forward. This time, went for big ball after big ball after big ball, and Nishioka able to combat that, eventually draws the error.
Ace saving the day, 125 on the line. Set point, Philadelphia.
That was really close. If there's a time to get the smallest portion of the line, that's it.
Craig Carden looking to see if his man can finish things off. And the World Team Tennis rookie wins his debut in men's singles. Chris Eubanks, impressive performance, beating a top 75 player in the world in Yoshi Nishioka 5-3.
Wow, that was tremendous tennis from Chris Eubanks. Really lit it up after the change of ends in that set of men's singles.
Let's go downstairs to Olivia Decker.
Okay, Chris, wow, congratulations. What a debut with World Team Tennis. We were on the edge of our seats. Can you describe the intensity for you out there?
It's been a while since I've had a team atmosphere, and probably never in that team atmosphere quite like this. So there were definitely some nerves to start off. But I think once I got that first hold at love and I started returning a little bit better, that's when the confidence kind of grew, and I ended up closing out pretty well.
Well, you had some great service games in both men's doubles and men's singles. What was your approach facing Yoshi the second time around?
I mean, Yoshi's a great returner. There's no secrets to that. So I think it was more so on me. I haven't hit my spots, come up with the serves in the clutch, and I think in the last game I did that pretty well.
You having fun out there?
Absolutely. This is probably the most fun I've had playing tennis in a long time. So.
Congratulations. Thanks so much.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Olivia, Chris, thanks. Chris Eubanks, well, played college tennis at Georgia Tech, loves that atmosphere of a team, relishing it here in World Team Tennis. We're all tied up through 2 in Philly. Here in Philadelphia, all square. Washington and the Freedoms splitting the first 2 sets. Men's doubles going to the Kastles 5-3, but Christopher Eubanks battling back to beat Nishioka 5-3. So 8-8 our scores. We get set for mixed doubles tonight. Nicole Mellicar, Bruno Suarez, Raquel Attal, Fabrice Martin. Venus Williams still to come for a couple of sets. First single showdown with Taylor Townsend, and then dealing in women's doubles to close the night as well. So she's loosening up. See her supporting her teammates. 14th season of World Team Tennis for the superstar of the sport, and we'll see her coming up in just a little bit.
Well, the crowd that's come in tonight, they've been treated through those first 2 sets of tennis. The men really put on a show in men's doubles. Chris Eubanks, he lit it up in men's singles, and they've still got Venus Williams to look forward to seeing. I know they really want the home team, the Freedoms, to win, but anytime you have Venus Williams come to play, it's a real treat.
And if you've got a team, World Team Tennis in your area, come on out. Tickets available, World Team Tennis, WTT.com. Fabrice Martin, Raquel Attal for Philly, serving here against Mellicar and Suarez for Washington. First point here to the duo, and both of these teams have played with one another in mixed doubles on tour. In fact, these were the tandems that played together at the All England Club earlier in July in mixed doubles.
Taking that world team tennis form elsewhere on the tour. Mentioned Taylor Townsend, how she'd enjoyed so much spending time with people she would never spend time with. Well, obviously these two pairings have been more than comfortable in each other's company on the tennis court coming out of World Team Tennis.
We hope it's as good as the matchup last night in D.C. Tao and Martin wanted a tiebreak 5-4 against Melekar and Suarez. Philly jumps in front, and Fabrice Martin with his great run this year in men's doubles to the French Open final, and Raquel Tao certainly with her resume and success with a bevy of titles on the WTA Tour in doubles, 18 career doubles crowns. She's been to the semifinals, 3 Grand Slams, including Wimbledon twice. Melekar can't convert and gain point early here for Philly.
The Tao is so good overhead. Quite often, as you see Bruno do there, you'll try and get a lob in over the female in mixed doubles, but more than up to the task getting back for that one.
There's a look at the 36-year-old from California, pro since 2004. And Martin hammering an ace at 135 down the tee. Solid hold for Philly to start in mixed doubles. Well, tomorrow morning, 10 Eastern, CBS Sports Network on the Diamond for coverage of the National Youth Baseball Championships. Don't miss the 11 and under championship right here on the 24-hour home of CBS Sports. No 11 and unders in this matchup right now. We've got some veterans of the doubles game. A lot of pedigree on the court right now. Martin coming up the middle. We got the first point here in this game.
That's the best return he has. That backhand return straight through the middle part of the court, hard. That's where he makes his bread and butter on the return side of the court.
Yeah, the 37-year-old made a lot of bread playing doubles. Been around a long time. And no reason to stop if you're still ranked in the top 10 in the world like he is. Again, switching partners with that run with Jamie Murray ending a few months back. But sometimes, like you talked about, maybe that can be a little bit of a refresher for a guy to continue to roll along.
Yeah, you could sort of feel it coming a little bit with those two.
Suarez able to get it back, and then Melekar in jail there, no shot.
I think she may have thought she touched one early in the point because she gave this one up. It was a terrific hustle. You can see her there sort of wave it off and sort of wonder why we were still playing for a second.
Yep.
But yeah, talking about Suarez and Murray, you could feel it coming a little bit. They had all that success, but I think they really wanted to be winning Grand Slam titles, and the two in 2016 started to feel further and further in the rearview mirror. And winning titles on the tour is great. We all want to be winning weeks in, weeks out. But I think for guys, when you've won those Grand Slams, you want to keep winning them. A little bit of a debate here, saying Melekar reached over the net to hit that forehand volley.
Rich Yarlott, our chair umpire.
It's always a big call to call that on a player. Normally a chair umpire will only do it if it's blatantly obvious. Oh, it's touch and go for me. I mean, we're a little bit angled with our camera view there.
Suarez and Melekar don't think they're going to win this argument.
No, I can't see the umpire reversing his call here.
And that's at a big spot here early in this set.
Well, that's the difference between being 30 all and being down a couple of break points.
And now suddenly Washington is up against it here on the road. And Philly able to finish off the break.
It's a big call. That call is the sort of thing that can change the course of the night. This is a great point from the Freedoms. That return again off the backhand side from Martin, and the awareness from Mateo to cross and get on the forehand volley. But when it's a 50-50 call like that, I don't like to see the chair umpire step in and get involved. And I can understand the frustration from the Washington side, but then you've also got to move past it.
Oh, what reflexes from Suarez, but can't get them all.
Well, the first pickup off the net tape was incredible. This one here, that was behind him, that ball. This one to reach, that was probably the easiest volley of the three of them, the last one, but it just got a little bit behind him.
Billie Jean King looking on. Ownership here with the Philadelphia Freedoms, co-founder of this league in the 70s, and still watching it thrive here in 2019. And you talked about it before, watching her team thrive. She is passionate about tennis overall, but especially her Freedoms made it to the final last year, lost at home to Springfield in the final, and this team looks like it's got the goods again to be in Vegas in the playoffs next week.
Well, having played here in Philadelphia for the Freedoms, you know that she demands success, and she puts a pressure on the team, not unnecessary pressure, but she wants success. And so when she has a team like this that can go on and win a championship, she gets extremely behind them.
Wouldn't expect anything less from
No.
a champion of that caliber.
And she wants to know everything. That tight lost the other night in the super tiebreaker to the Orange County Breakers. She wanted to know exactly what happened on match point and who hit what shot in what direction and why they decided to make that decision. And Suarez thought that one was going to miss. Gets called in by Hawkeye Live. But you're exactly right. You would expect nothing more from a champion than wanting business taken care of.
Certainly Philadelphia here meaning business in this set. Again, 8 teams this year, top 4 make the playoffs as opposed to just 2 from last season in a then 6-team league. And Philly looking strong, 8-2. This is one of the 4 matches remaining in the 14-game regular season for the Freedom. So they're looking pretty good.
They lost their opener to the Lasers in a rematch of last year's final. Then they went on a 7-match win streak, only broken by that sudden death point in a super tiebreaker.
Craig Carden certainly wants the chance maybe to get some payback. They'll host the Lasers. You'll be able to see that one in a first-place showdown coming Sunday evening here from Philly on CBS Sports Network, 6 o'clock Eastern. And we'll be in D.C. to see the Kastles against the Lasers tomorrow night. But right now, Washington trying to step back in this set against Philly, and that will aid the cause. Suarez with the angled put away, but it's a 3-love hold for Washington to work out of right now.
These two teams playing last night was the men's doubles. They got the Kastles into trouble 5-1. They turned that around tonight, but men's singles going completely against them.
Nicole Melikar serving. Turns 26 in the coming week. Born to the Czech Republic. Moved to the U.S. as a kid. Lives in Florida. Second season with the Kastles for her. Strong season of doubles again on tour.
Tao did a great job on the return, had a high backhand volley, tried to hit. I'm not sure what sort of a shot, maybe a drop shot kill backhand volley. Probably should have just stuck that one back deep and said, beat me if you can.
40-15, Melikar, 4th career WTA doubles crown, winning in Brisbane this year. And last year at Wimbledon, she was mixed doubles champion with Alexander Peya. 40-30, Philly still breathing in this game. Melikar working back from injury suffered this year at the All England Club. Lost to the quarterfinals in both mixed with Suarez and in women's doubles. Able to come back in her first action back in the court last night. And ripping an ace and an emphatic slam down after getting game point. And Washington still hot about that call earlier. And Nicole Melikar, Grand Slam champion, trying to bring the Kastles back to life.
Mental fitness is so crucial. You saw that one point where she went over the net and hit the ball. And after that, I'm telling you right now, the mental fitness dropped. That's why if something happens in your life, you have to stay focused and stay strong mentally. You can do it.
Sean T, thanks. Washington tried to stay mentally in this set after a call went their way earlier. Martin and a towel for Philadelphia. Trying to continue to keep the pressure on, keep Philly in the lead here. Team tennis mixed doubles featured right now here between the Kastles and the Freedoms.
Well, things happen quickly. Sudden death points, sets to 5. There's no time to dwell on something that doesn't go your way because the blink of an eye, the set's over.
And Sam, I imagine certain players handle that better in this format, just like they do on tour, because we see some players that something doesn't go their way and it sticks with them for multiple sets.
Oh, I've been prone to the occasional snap on tour, but you just don't have time for it here because it does happen quick. Every game counts, so you just need to turn it back on for your team. And that's the thing, you're playing for a team here as well.
Some extraneous noise from Martin. He gets reset. That's something else you got to deal with too here in World Team Tennis. Some of the surrounding things. Fans in the back enjoying some cocktails. Oh, beautiful work from Melikar.
Well, she's fired up right now, Melikar. She's still going on about that call. And she hits a winner there, but I'm not quite sure this is helping her. Far too engrossed in a call that happened 15 minutes ago now.
Big serving Martin has Philadelphia on the cusp of another hold and a commanding 4-1 lead in the set. Martin will get it. 4-1 Philly, 12-9 overall.
Well, this set's been a huge turnaround on the scoreboard for the Philadelphia Freedoms. A set for them that, you know, this would be one of their best. They're so strong all across the line. You talk about, in my head I'm going, well, this is a strong set for the Freedoms, and I'm saying, well, women's singles is a strong set. Men's doubles normally is a strong set. Women's doubles is a strong set. They've got such a good lineup across all events.
Been so stout. Martin, Tao, Taylor Townsend, all multiple seasons with Philadelphia. Oh, great work from Raquel Tao.
Well, that was terrific hands early in the point to fight off this smash. And then the next one where she was able to dig this cross-court angle. To be able to generate that much angle off a two-hand backhand, use predominantly your left hand to rip that one cross-court.
Little assistance for Martin, gets it over.
A little bit of volleyball action.
Yeah, a little late, but
not one of the rules that's allowed in World Team Tennis.
That is not a breakthrough for next season. 15 all here. Suarez and Melchar on the board of the game. Oh, some let love for Fabrice Martin.
Well, he had to look at the easy forehand. I think he actually tried to back a little bit off this as he tried to put it through Melchar. Maybe being a little bit nice, tried to spin it. Gets lucky in the end.
Billie Jean and the Freedoms will take it. Melchar just deadening it beautifully. High quality here between superb doubles players. You have 4 players on the court, all ranked in the top 40 in the world in doubles. Well, Martin would have loved to have had that back. Did not miss by much. Suarez on the cusp of a key hold here for the Kastles.
Well, they need this game right now, the Kastles, because they're going to fall a long way behind. Again, they're not too quick about getting themselves back.
Well, Tao made the move over to get there, but couldn't deliver it. Washington able to get the hold. Philly, though, can close the set coming up here in this service game.
Well, it's a big hold there. We're going to get a Geico timeout on the court, but huge hold from Suarez. Tao was doing everything she could during those points to hustle everything back, make them play another ball. But Washington, they keep it close on the scoreboard because, as we keep saying, cumulative scoring, every game counts. At the end of the match, you bring Venus Williams on. If she's got to reel in 1 or 2 games, that's a big difference. Last night, she had a 6-game deficit coming into the final set. That's just mentally taxing when you walk out knowing that you've got to come back from that far down.
Yeah, we'll see what the margin is in favor of which team when we get to that point, but certainly Venus would love to have it close here if Philly does close it out and take this set. Again, Tao can close it out on her serve now. Oh, and that just fooled Melchar.
Well, it was only 98 miles an hour, but Melchar just got herself in all sorts of trouble. I don't think she knew if she was going to hit a forehand or a backhand, and in the end, it just hits her.
Tao just been rock solid this year for Philadelphia. You talked about Taylor Townsend was the female most valuable player. World Team Tennis has had another terrific season. We'll see her coming up, but Martin, Tao have been terrific as well.
There's no point dominating one set. You have to be so solid across the board.
Love. Set points to work with. Chris Eubanks relishing this team opportunity with the Freedoms. He's up to cheer on his mates. Coach Carden as well. Philly looking to seal the deal here in mixed.
They save one with a return up the line from Suarez, but it's been pretty much all one-way traffic since that call early on the Suarez serve that went against them. Created a couple of break point opportunities that they thought they had 30 all after Mellikar put a volley away, got deemed to reach over the net, and since then it's been complete in control from the Freedoms.
Washington hanging around in the game.
Just sticking around, aren't they? We heard an out call from Martin early in the point. Thought one of those balls was going to fly long. Tao hit it. All of a sudden, 40-30, serving to Bruno. Great returner on the doubles court. A little bit more pressure now on the Freedoms. And then you have to hit a second serve.
Monster moment in this match now for Washington, rallying from down low 40 to get to a deciding point.
Well, Suarez just controlled the court so well with his backhand. Fabrice Martin was running side to side, ducking down in front of his opponent, his partner. And now all of a sudden death point to get this back on serve.
Big moment in this match. Second serve coming up. Philly's only won 48% of the points on second serves in the match. Mellikar went for it, couldn't get it, and Philly survives. 5-2 in the set, 13-10 on the night. Nicole Mellikar still hot about that earlier call, but Washington will have to come from behind. She'll have a chance in the final set of the night with Venus Williams, but singles is on deck. Venus Williams ready to take center stage for the Kastles and their comeback cause coming up here in Philly.
World Team Tennis on CBS Sports Network is sponsored by USTA, the United States Tennis Association, and music provided by Free Play Music.
Here at Hagan Arena, Philadelphia in front, 13-10. Tao Martin with the win, 5-2 over Melikar and Suarez. That's the difference right now, with Venus Williams ready to go against Taylor Townsend in women's singles. From one legend of the game to another who's standing by with Olivia Decker.
Jason, a living legend, Billie Jean King, what an honor. Thank you so much for the time with us. Founder of World Team Tennis, owner of the Freedoms. Your team's 8-2, about to be 9-2 if the night continues this way.
Oh, I never take anything for granted, Olivia.
I was going to say, what do you make of the season they're putting together so far?
Well, I think Coach Carden did a great job in the draft. We've kept Fabrice Martin and Taylor Townsend, which I thought was a great move. They've always been great for us. They keep getting better and better. And then having Rachel Attal has been unbelievable because we've had her for 2 seasons now. So that makes a difference. They play together. So it's I don't know. It seems like this team's the best as far as getting along. That's what Craig Carden has told me. And they've shown it the way they play and how they work together. And I don't know. They've got a great chemistry this year, and it's really paid off. And tonight is crucial. And Sunday night, if we can win tonight and Sunday, then we're clinched to go to Las Vegas for the playoffs. So that's where you got to take one ball at a time, but it would be great, you know, if they can win tonight and then Sunday night against Springfield.
Now you look over at this poster over here that you're on, 1974, the inaugural season. What do you think about the direction World Team Tennis is headed in now in 2019?
Well, it's great because having new ownership is good. They have a lot more money than we did. I think Carlos is doing a great job of being commish. So we'll see how it goes. We're just trying to grow. There's 2 extra teams, more teams this year. We're up to 8, which has really made the schedule so much better. Each team played each other twice, home and away, which is great. And those people out there that are used to regular tennis, we're home and away. We're like basketball, baby. And we have co-ed. We're the only league where we have really quality. We're the first ones to do it back in 1974. First ones to bring music. And if anyone's watching, there's no Lions people. You might want to notice that because a lot of people haven't even noticed. They hear the voice. They think it's a Lions person. So it's amazing what's going on. So I'm really happy.
Thank you for your time. Best of luck the rest of the season.
Yeah, good luck too. Thanks a lot. Thanks everyone.
Olivia, Billie Jean, thanks. You know, she's talking about innovation. She's been innovating her whole career, and essentially here with World Team Tennis, in the things they started in the 70s, a lot of those still translate to this format here in 2019.
Certainly does, and she's one of the biggest reasons why the league's been around for so long, but it's also great to hear her say that new ownership taking over and they're innovating as well with Carlos and doing a great job. So it's, I think, great for World Team Tennis, for the league, to still have Billie Jean involved, owning here with the Freedoms, but also giving a nod to the future.
So, as we mentioned, one legend they're watching and another one about to play, and what a pleasure it's been to watch her over 2 decades plus of success. And again, you look at the list of what she's accomplished, and just 800 plus match wins on tour is amazing to have that level of longevity and success.
Well, it certainly is. 39 years of age, she's still doing amazing things out on the tennis court, but it says they're American tennis icon. I'd just say tennis icon. She's one of the greatest that has ever played this sport, male or female.
And again, for her, what a wonderful resurgence. A couple of years ago, final at the Australian and at Wimbledon, semifinals, part of that All-American Final Four at the U.S. Open in 2017 as well. So Billie Jean King, her presence looming large here in Philadelphia as Venus takes to the court for the Kastles. So, gee, if you're a home crowd here, how do you root against Venus, against Philadelphia's Taylor Townsend? Be interesting to see how that plays out.
Everyone trying to get a snap of Venus Williams.
Taylor With that left hand able to take the first point. You mentioned second time in 24 hours these teams have played. These two closed the proceedings last night. Went to Venus in beating Townsend.
Be interesting to see how Townsend approaches this, because last night early on she was in all sorts. She was down 3-love really quickly. Williams was dominating, unable to get Williams out of her hitting zones. Then started coming forward, mixing up the play that is probably the key to her game. She does that so well. Ended up going down 5-4, but it was the fight back that probably put the pressure on Venus going into extended play, and then held her opening service game to Townsend. So I think she probably came out of that match last night, even though she lost it, just the way the match finished, feeling a little bit better about it.
So the break point chances galore here for Townsend to begin. Still some to play with against Venus Williams.
It's funny, just because of the way the format is, you can come out of a match feeling good about it when you've lost it. Normally in a tournament, you're out, nowhere left to go. Here, you back up the next day and you've got to reset and go again.
Sam, it's so unusual that you would see a player on consecutive days. How would you approach it? How did you approach it if that happened to you playing World Team Tennis? Do you change up strategy?
I actually remember one year at Wimbledon, we played doubles qualifying. Myself and Chris Guccione, my fellow Australian. We played Steve Johnson and Andreas Silstrom, last round qualies, and then we drew them first round again. In the main draw, they got in as lucky losers. So obviously you do it here in World Team Tennis, but you do it on tour. So this is actually good practice for when that situation arises. And there's things you try to take from those matches. I'm sure there's things that both of these players would have spoken about with their respective team coaches about adjusting before tonight's match.
Great smarts from Venus Williams, and the savvy to work all the way back from love 40 and earn the hold.
Well, this was good composure. That volley got a little bit tougher than she would have liked. She was going to originally take it out of the air, but to come back from love 40 there, Townsend had a couple of good looks at return of serve. And you just wonder whether that changes the way these two and their mindset, the way they go about it.
First service game for Taylor Townsend. A 23-year-old from Chicago, 6th season of World Team Tennis for her, and she was just incredible last year for Philadelphia. The female MVP of the league. Did not lose a set last year. 13-0, won her first 3 sets in women's singles. This year, nice touch from Townsend. Only losses this year. Coco Vandeweghe, Venus Williams. It's not too shabby for her. Craig Carden really appreciating Townsend. Says she's our workhorse. We can always depend on her. And she has done that here in her time with the Freedom.
Terrific hands and half volley to be able to feel and take the pace off that one and drop it in just short enough to set up the next volley. I was a bit worried about the approach shot. Williams had a good hit the forehand pass, but more than up to the task off her shoelaces.
Taylor Townsend at 40-15. Not sure if she lost a little jewelry there or a bracelet, taking that off, dropping that to the side after that last point. Fussing there with the wrist. That's wide. Hold for Townsend. 1-all so far.
That was a good reset for her to hold serve there. Had a huge opportunity on the opening service game of Williams. Love 40, wasn't able to convert. So to dig out a hold there and re-steady things and get to 1-all on the scoreboard, great mental composure from Taylor Townsend.
Venus Williams, a lot of the folks here coming to get a glimpse of her 49 career WTA singles titles, including the 7 slams. This year, 3rd round at the Australian, lost in the 1st round of the French, and of course lost in the 1st round at Wimbledon to Coco Gauff, the 15-year-old sensation.
Terrific hustle from Townsend across the baseline, almost running down that forehand and able to curl it in. But that right there is what we're going to see from both players. Well, that's what Williams wants to see. She wants to be dominating the center part of the court, getting the big hits in, and really finishing the point in 1 or 2 shots. And when she's serving well, she is so tough to beat. Probably has one of the best serves ever in women's tennis.
Townsend had a cut on that 2nd serve.
Speak about Williams trying to get the upper hand in the points. Townsend's trying to not let that to happen. That's why she's going after that forehand return so much there. And I'd say probably normally that's not the way she would play. Normally she likes to use her forehand, push her opponent back deep in the court, and then look to use her craft and move forward and finish points. But Venus is a tall lady. That spinny forehand up into Venus's backhand plays right into Venus's Williams' plans.
Deep in the corner for Venus Williams, and the hold at 2-1. Venus Williams, again, her sensational career, currently ranked at 51 in the world at age 39. And again, Serena, little sis there in the top 10 at number 9 in the world, and what they have done to grow the game of tennis in their careers. Certainly Taylor Townsend making her strides outside the top 100 right now, currently at 118 in the world, and serving here at 1-2.
Well, she went for the serve volley. Williams up to the task. Big forehand return down at the shoelaces of Townsend, unable to dig out the backhand volley.
Big hop on that kicker serve from Townsend. And that's where she can be a tricky opponent with that variety of serves she can throw at.
We don't see the kick serve too often from the left-hander. Generally, they'll try and use the slice serve, open up the backhand side. That one going the other way, kicking right back into the body of Venus Williams. And that there, the forehand of Townsend into the backhand of Venus Williams is not going to trouble Venus at all. Just standing and delivering on back-to-back backhands in that point.
Backhand that's been strong for a couple of decades. 15-30.
Just controlling the center corridor of the court so well. Venus Williams.
Murphy Jensen looking on. This is go time here for Venus and the Kastles. Washington just 1 of 6 so far in breakpoint opportunities tonight. And it'll be 1 of 7. That one dead off the scoreboard overhead.
Using the body serve to handcuff Venus on the return. Chance to then jump on the forehand and move forward. I feel like Taylor Townsend has to actually use that body serve a little bit more. The 2 points she's won in this game, both on the back of a serve that jammed Venus up.
Venus Williams with the break for the Kastles. Washington up 3-1 of the set. So Venus using her experience and power to thrust the Kastles to within 1 game overall. Venus Williams, so many memorable moments in her career, trying to help Washington come back against Philly as we go down courtside to Sean T.
I was able to have a conversation with Venus before the match, and I was telling her how fitness is more important when you talk about recovery. And she said she realizes that she's getting a little bit older, and she got really intrigued on how I can help people recover. But it's about resting your body, recovering really well, and especially the night before, especially with a match like this and a tournament like this, where you're playing a lot and you're coming off tour, recovering your body, getting rest, and icing your body is extremely important.
Sure, Venus has figured out how to manage all that pretty well.
Sure, she's got a pretty good team around her as well. It was after the change of ends last night when Craig Carden had the chance to sit down for a couple of minutes, with Taylor Townsend that she adjusted the way she was going about things. Be interesting to see if we see a change again tonight after the change of ends.
Well, what you talked about in that last service game for Townsend kind of played out on game point as Venus jumped ahead now 3-1.
With that break point, it was a bad pattern for Townsend. She was using that loopy forehand into the backhand of Williams, and as soon as she hit 2 or 3 there, it was absolutely lights out. That's the play. So the forehand cross court to the backhand hasn't been working. Venus has just been dominant, getting on top of the ball and smashing it back cross court. She needs to use that forehand, change direction up the line, and actually push Venus off the baseline, getting her moving.
Some great work from Townsend, but Williams takes the point.
Well, great work from Townsend, but great work from Venus Williams. She thought this forehand was probably going to win the point. This one came back like a rocket, great volley, and then had to deal with that one as it got tricky. Straight at the body, the passing shot, but full credit to Venus Williams, more than up to the task again.
Wide from Williams. Break opportunity for Townsend and Phillip.
Even that, using the slice backhand, just giving your opponent a different look, all of a sudden having to hit the ball from below waist height instead of above waist height.
Townsend with an electric backhand pass to get the break for the Freedoms.
Well, again, comes out of the change of ends, absolutely firing. Does Taylor Townsend, just not quite enough on this forehand approach from Venus Williams, right into the hitting zone of Townsend, and she just goes bang cross court.
So Taylor Townsend with an opportunity to get things level at 3-all. Philly leads 15-13 overall. 1 set to come in women's doubles. Both of these players will be a part of it. Williams almost got the pass, but hooked it wide. See, they call it in. They did. And we say they. We're saying Hawkeye Live here. Again, no lines persons here. Computer makes the calls. Recorded voices chime in. No out call there. So in it was.
I think the out call came from every single person in the stadium wanting it to miss.
Well, we heard an out call there, and suddenly trouble magnified for Taylor Townsend. 2 quick points. Love 30 here in a no-ad game.
We worked so hard to get a break of serve back. And then obviously a great pass from Venus on point 1, but then to give a cheap one away on the second point. Doesn't really help.
Wow. Washington up in the swings back and forth here with the service break last game, and potentially one right back here in Venus Williams' favor.
But this time combating the slice backhand from Townsend with a slice backhand of her own. Smart play.
Sensational seismic turnaround here for Venus Williams, able to break right back. Kastles 4-2 in the set and the chance to tie it up if Venus can hold.
Well, it was great hitting again. She has this uncanny ability to find parts of the court where she wants to hit balls from. Once she got in control of the point there was no looking back for Venus Williams.
So 4-2, Venus. And again, she can level the overall score with a hold here to have us tied going to the final set of women's doubles.
After a blowout last night, coming here into Philadelphia's home arena. So last night, Washington at home, completely blown out by the Freedoms. You come here tonight thinking, well, it's going to be tough to turn it around for the Kastles, but they've done such a fantastic job of doing that tonight. That's a big serve out wide.
121 off the racket of Venus Williams.
There was a little bit of confidence in that one. Really got after that.
Off kilter on that second serve. So Townsend on the board in the game. You talked about her serving ability, Sam, one of the best ever. What do you like about it?
Well, it's just such a simple technique. Gets the ball tossed in the right spot, very loose. Right arm before contact.
That's wide. Townsend gets it here a little bit closer. 30-all.
And Townsend just did everything she could in that point to put another ball back, and just weather the storm from Williams.
And now another double from Venus Williams as things have gone sideways a bit here.
Well, said confidence when she hit the big ace to get up 30-love. That was nerves. You could just feel it inside the stadium. Took so long there to get herself set. The first serve ended up halfway up the net. The second just took so long for her to hit.
And let's check in with Olivia Decker.
Guys, Taylor Townsend really beating herself up here, but her coach, Craig Carden, keeps telling her, stay committed, play every ball, and most importantly, he gives her a big smile after every point, whether she won it or not. He seems to really know the importance of what this feels like for Taylor, playing a monster champion like a Venus Williams.
And doing so for the second straight night. Set point here.
This is going to be a nervous second serve.
That's long, and Washington wins the set. We are all even, headed to the fifth and final set of the night as Venus is victorious. Venus Williams over Taylor Townsend. Castles and Freedoms all deadlocked as we go to women's doubles here in Philly. What a night of World Team Tennis here at Hagen Arena in Philadelphia. Castles and Freedoms back and forth. Washington took the first set. Philly equalized in men's singles, took the lead in mixed doubles before Venus Williams has squared the score with her 5-2 win over Taylor Townsend. We're all even at 15 apiece. And now Williams, after helping tie it, can help win it for the Castles. She'll team with Nicole Melikar. Taylor Townsend looks to make amends, paired with Raquel Attal here in women's doubles. Down the wire here tonight, Sam.
Certainly is. It's going to come down to who can compose themselves better on the back of a couple of, well, below par performances from two of these women.
Got more action tomorrow at 6 Eastern. We'll see these Castles again as they play at home against the defending champs from Springfield. 6 o'clock tomorrow night Eastern here on CBS Sports Network.
So just on the back of that, it's going to be Venus Williams' job to pick up Nicole Melikar in that mixed double. She let that call get the better of her a little bit, so she needs to Well, Venus needs to try to pick Nicole up here. Raquel Atawo played fantastic in mixed doubles. Townsend coming off the back of that singles loss just now to Venus Williams. Raquel has to be the experienced player now and pick her partner Townsend up. Whoever can compose themselves better out of Melika and Townsend, their team's going to come out on top.
So here we go. Townsend will serve. Partnered with Atawo. Williams Melikar ready to receive. And Melikar mashing one up the middle. Kastles strike first.
Well, for an Australia, I'd say she was clean bowled, but that probably wouldn't make too much sense over here.
So clean that thought up for us. What are you talking there?
Well, it's a cricketing term, but it's maybe a strike. Let's call it a strike over here.
Well, that's a net ball for Venus Williams this time. 15 all. Greg Carden's team watching that lead evaporate. Not too many have fallen for Philadelphia in the last couple of years in the regular season. 12-2 a year ago in the regular campaign. 8-2 so far this year.
Oh, Tao had the put away volley, just got past her and behind her, unable to pull that one down into the court. It probably should have been a 30-15 lead, but now a little bit of pressure at 15-30.
Townsend and Atawo have been the class of the league here in women's doubles this year.
Makes the adjustment there, Atawo. This time gets the volley out in front. He's able to put that one away through Melika. That's the experience as well. Reset, struggles with a high forehand volley the point before. This time, quick one comes, more than ready.
Craig Carden understands what his women's doubles team has done, and you know from playing in this league, Sam, you win 55% of your games, you're doing well. They have won 72% of their games so far this year.
It's incredible. That's going to go in.
Oh, just a bit deep, and a break chance here for Washington in this opening game.
Washington are taking huge cuts at the ball in this opening game. No holding back from their side of the court.
Philly able to push it to a deciding point. So far, we've had 7 of them on the night. Washington's won 4, Philly's won 3. The winner of this one going to get a leg up here in this final set.
Well, it's going to be Townsend to it. Melika's had a couple of big hits. If I'm Raquel Atawo, I'm super ready for this one to come straight at me off the return of serve.
Venus cranks the put away, and Washington with the opening break in women's double.
Well, it's a perfect 1-2 from the Kastles. The big return from Melika. Not as big as some of the other ones she hit in the game. Took a little bit off it, got it down low. Venus Williams straight onto the forehand volley, moving forward with the put away. And it seems as though Nicole Melika has composed herself in the best possible way early in this one.
So Washington with the lead, 16-15 overall. Murphy Jensen and his team looking to pull the road victory out of the hat here in Philly.
And coming in tonight, we had very differing opinions on what Washington could do for the rest of the season. We had a discussion this afternoon, and you said to me that they can run the table and still make these playoffs, and I was questionable on that, but they've looked good tonight.
Certainly have. They've got the makeup to make some noise here in their final stretch of 7 matches, or excuse me, 6 matches tonight. In Philly with 8 wins already, Springfield with 7, 3 teams right there in the mix with 5. Atau gobbling up that second serve from Venus Williams.
Yeah, 75 miles an hour right into the forehand hitting zone. Too much time for someone with the experience of Atau.
Yeah, you never know, but the Kastles, certainly under the leadership of Murphy Jensen, can make some noise, especially be difficult here. Philly tonight, hosting Springfield tomorrow. Top 2 teams of the league. You get past that, and you never know.
It's not an easy way to try to keep yourself in the hunt, though, is it? But if you can beat those 2 teams, the confidence that then gives you.
Washington's had great success over the years. Venus Williams looking to keep the Kastles pointed towards victory here in Philly, 30-15.
Tao seeing the ball really well. That was a great return. Good half volley pickup to control that angled cross court.
That's a little long. Potential for Philly to get the break back.
That was a big serve from Venus Williams, and that came back with interest off the racket of Taylor Townsend. Almost hit Nicole Melliker for the second time this evening.
Tao with the winner, and Philly has leveled it.
Well, she is seeing it like a watermelon right now. Is Raquel Atau. Forehand winners coming off her racket in the numbers in that game.
So the 36-year-old from California, 40th in the world right now in doubles. 7th season here in World Team Tennis. Get 18 career WTA doubles crowns. 3-time All-American, terrific college player for the Cal Golden Bears in Berkeley. Melliker can't put it in. We mentioned the Kastles trying to keep hope alive to get to the playoffs this year. Look at what they did in that impressive stretch. 5 in a row here. 34 straight match wins, Sam, there during that run. 2 California teams winning in 2016 and 2017. Springfield, the titleist last year. You understand playing this format, how hard that is to do.
To win 34 matches, anything can happen. Sudden death points, you have one player has an off night, and you lose a set quickly, and the score goes the wrong way. To win 34 matches in this format in a row is just incredible.
Venus stretched out and finds the net.
Raquel Atau right now, she is throwing punches in bunches. She is playing unbelievable tennis at the start of this women's doubles.
Won't see Taylor Townsend miss that many like that at the net.
No, I think the ball just got below the height of the tape off the return from Venus Williams and didn't quite adjust. Tried to still punch the volley solid through the middle part of the court. Just had to open the face slightly.
Still chances for Philly to close the game, retake the lead. Melikar missing hold freedoms.
What a big 2-game swing there for the Freedoms, getting the break of serve after being broken in their opening service game, and then a great hold from Raquel Atau. Talk about Townsend being the important player in this match. Well, right now, she's just got to ride on Atau's coattails because she's finding the center of the strings like it's nothing.
17-16 overall. Philly and Washington working their way down to the wire. Nicole Melikar now to serve.
Atau's overhead is highly underrated. She doesn't miss them.
That would be a pretty good rating when you're consistently putting those away.
Oh, 100%. Ball up in the air, most times in tennis, it should be point over, but there's a lot of players that don't deal with them very well. Raquel Atau, she just doesn't miss them.
And again, Philly pressurizing Washington here on those overheads, Sam. Is that more focus than technique?
It's just practice. A lot of people don't spend enough time working on them. You spend so much time hitting forehands, hitting backhands, practicing your serve, but the overhead's a shot that really, when it goes up, you should be able to finish the point. It's a great cross from Venus Williams. Made the early look, got the ball high over the net. Look at this. Times her split, moves, keeps the backswing short, and then finishes it with the follow-through.
Big point for Washington. Still Kastles serving at 15-30. Little pressure relieved here, but every point now magnified in a match separated by just a single game of the final set.
Pressure mounting on the Washington Kastles. They desperately need a win tonight, and they will all know that. So when you get to these tight moments, the pressure is just exacerbated tenfold.
Philly fans up. Break chance for their team. The Kastles trying to survive here and get to a deciding point in the game. Overhead from Townsend. Philadelphia has the break and a 2-game lead. Raquel Atau, Taylor Townsend have turned things up and are on the cusp of a home victory. Venus Williams' victory in women's singles helping the Kastles even the score against Philly, but she and Nicole Melikar trailing Taylor Townsend for Kalatal in this decisive 5th set here. Women's doubles, World Team Tennis tonight. Philadelphia looking for its 9th win on the season.
Well, Towel started fantastically in this women's doubles, and now Taylor Townsend's game has picked up on the back of that.
And they have been sensational this year. Right now, Sam, they are 50-19 on the year. The game victories against losses in this format.
I mean, it's just incredible the way it plays out, sudden death points, that they've been that solid through the first 11 matches now. This is their 11th match of the season.
Again, 20% more wins than any other doubles team women's wise in the league. And top winning percentage of anybody. Singles, doubles in World Team Tennis this year. And it continues. Another tricky kicker from Taylor Townsend.
Well, it's got to be confidence. And you've got to feel confident if you're Craig Carter, knowing you've got that. And there's a reason when he set the lineup tonight that he put this match in last. He has full confidence in the team. And when the coach has that much confidence in you as well, confidence breeds confidence.
Townsend again. And Philadelphia with a chance to get the big hold here and potentially move closer to locking it up.
Well, if you're the Kastles, you just need to find a way to somehow finagle your way out of this. They need a win.
Philadelphia continues rolling along in this set. 4-1, Craig Carden loving it. Taylor Townsend, Kalatal handling their business right now. And it'll be up to Venus Williams to keep Washington in the match with her partner on her serve. Venus Williams down the line. Think she's not invested?
She's not going down without a fight. She had a forehand, big forehand return the last game with a big come on that one. Huge reaction after the forehand winner down the line.
Sam, if you hit Control-Alt-Delete on her singles career and just erased it, just what she's done in doubles would still put her in the Hall of Fame. 14 Grand Slams, 6 Wimbledons, 4 Australians, a couple of US Opens and Frenches. What a point. And Washington needed it.
Well, they're just trying to lift their energy right now. They've gone up a notch here. 1-love. They had the first break of this set. They had a 1-love lead. All of a sudden, they're down 4-1, and now they've found this sort of energy. Where was it 15 minutes ago?
They've got it now. We'll see if they can ride it all the way back.
I just think if you're playing for your season, that's the energy you need from point one.
Venus will try to reset.
The second serve just started to look a little bit shaky at the end of that women's singles. I know she got through it, but a few nervous moments starting her second serve routine. A smart serve though. Took a little bit off the first, 105 miles an hour, jam a toe up into the body. Don't have to do the second serve if you make first serves.
Washington holds. Williams and Melikar continue to fight. Let's check in with Olivia Decker.
Well, Sam, what you were saying was so right on point, that this is so deliberate that these two are going last in the lineup. Craig Carden was telling me we can really rely on these two. We wanted to save them in case we were at this type of situation, which it ended up being so tight in the match. You know, they beat Venus and Cole last night 5-2. We saw them a couple days ago in Vegas go 5-love. These two are a powerhouse together.
That's Hal serving here, trying to put this match away for Philly.
Well, Tow's been the best player on the court so far in this set. Townsend's come with her now for the last few games, but she's been the backbone of this team tonight.
Craig Carden enjoying this, and his team has done this last couple of seasons. They have been among the best in world team tennis, showcasing it again tonight.
That's going to miss, but for me, this is the awesome thing about world team tennis as well. Quite often on tour, players will put more emphasis on singles than they do for doubles, but here, everything counts. You can lose a set of singles 5-1, but if you win all the doubles and you end up with more games at the end of the night, every single set is worth the exact same for a team, and I love that about this format.
Lets her in, and Venus was spot on and got it there for Washington. Now, she almost took Taylor Townsend's head off.
Well, her reaction, she couldn't believe that she made the move forward and then hit it.
And Venus believing here. Williams Melikar 2 points away from being back on serve.
It's going to miss.
And now suddenly with that let ball that hung up right in the sweet spot for Venus Williams, Murphy Jensen and his team, they've got life.
Well, Venus is playing insane tennis right now. She can't miss.
Geico timeout for Craig Carden in Philadelphia.
If I'm Murphy Jensen, I'm not going near Venus. She's on fire.
And the head coach of the Kastles out there chatting with his squad of this Geico timeout. And again, he's had Venus on his team for a number of years, so understands some of the things she needs. And maybe it's just a little dance move.
I love the energy that Murphy brings. Played a couple of seasons on his team. He is such good value.
Big point here. Tal able to sneak that one through. Still more hurdles for Philadelphia to overcome to try to close out this match.
Well, I'm trying to hit a serve here that jams Venus up. I'm not giving her a swing at this and then trying to get my partner at the net involved.
Has taken it to a deciding point here in the game and potentially a match point for the Freedoms.
Well, surely Venus Williams is taking this return. We're going to get a Geico timeout from Murphy Jensen. What an incredible point to push us to a deciding point here in women's doubles.
Another Geico timeout.
Well, I think the play was to try to jam Venus up on the return. Venus smashed that forehand through the middle of the part of the court. Taylor Townsend, incredible forehand volley. I don't think the Kastles could have played that break point too much better than they did. This one here, that volley from Townsend, to actually able to be able to stick it. This forehand just clipped the tape.
So here it is, deciding point, potentially the match ender if it goes for Philadelphia.
Season ender for the Kastles.
And it will go the Freedom's way. Philadelphia takes it. 5-2, the final in women's doubles. 2017 on the night, and the Freedoms victorious for the 9th time in 11 tries this year.
Well, a huge effort from the team of Atau and Townsend. Again, Craig Carden put them in. There is superstars, and once again they come through for the Philadelphia Freedoms.
More World Team Tennis excitement here. Gets the perennial power in Washington, and one of the front runners in 2019, the high-flying Freedoms. More coming up.
World Team Tennis on CBS Sports Network is sponsored by Geico, saving people money for over 75 years. By Rocket, game-changing phones with glasses-free 3D. And by Forevermark, a diamond is forever.
The victory dance that's become a trademark for the Philadelphia Freedoms under Craig Carden is on display again. For the 9th time this year, Freedoms take it 2017. Jason Epp, Sam Groff in the booth. What a night of tennis, Sam, and terrific performance, especially in doubles, in mixed and women's for Philly.
Well, it certainly was. Raquel Atau in that last set, she took things under her control. Fantastic from her, fantastic mixed doubles. Awesome performance from Chris Eubanks also on his debut for the Freedoms.
Yeah, first appearance in World Team Tennis for the Freedoms, helping them to the victory. And again, Philadelphia at 9-2 with Springfield on the verge of losing tonight to Orlando. That's going to put Philadelphia solidly top the table here in World Team Tennis.
Yeah, Philadelphia, they've been the standout team for me this season. The Lasers have been consistent, but they're going to shoot to the top. Orlando's going to push their way towards playoffs. It's all coming to a head as we head to Vegas.
And we'll get to see the front runners from Springfield coming up tomorrow night, 6 Eastern, against these Washington Kastles here on CBS Sports Network. That'll do it tonight for Philly. For Sam Groff, Olivia Decker, Sean T., and our entire crew, Jason Knapp saying this has been a presentation of CBS Sports Network, the 24-hour home of CBS Sports. Philly gets it done tonight over the Kastles as we send you now to the 2019 Tachi Palace World's Strongest Man, presented by Rove.